Good morning, Dykstra Dave here. Well, it rained really hard last night, which keeps me out of the bush, which my wife appreciates because then maybe I clean my garage. But instead I realized I have a lot of things I had to do oil changes on, and today was the day to do them. So just this morning I did my Power Fist gas generator, and now I am doing the Kubota. Now you may have seen my first video on this. We got it about 6 weeks ago, and I basically gave you a 5-hour review. So review of someone who never owned a zero turn before, and someone who's never operated a zero turn before. And like I say, whenever I buy things, I do a lot of research, and I poured a lot into this, and there was just one or two models that really suited my fancy. I am a big guy on value. My friends all say you're a cheap Dutchman. I said, you don't understand Dutchmen. We love to spend money. I mean, you can ask my wife, but we don't like to waste money. It's great to spend it, but it's terrible to waste it. So that's why I research, and hopefully these videos help you to make a wise choice too. Because paying more isn't always the best value, but neither is paying too little and getting a lot less. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. All right, before I get into the oil change portion of this, I'll just give you a rundown of some of the things I have learned now in 32 hours of using it. One, I love a zero turn. Can't recommend them highly enough. Been a few close calls. I have several ponds on my property. First time out, I thought, wow, this thing's got two-wheel drive, right? Full two-wheel drive, unlike my John Deere, which only has technically one-wheel drive. So I can get really close to that pond and cut, and I can power my way out. That's not true, because when your tire nearest to the pond, which is soft and mushy, loses traction, the one on the other side still has traction, and that's how this thing steers. So the first time out, I nearly landed in my pond. So I actually now stay quite clear of the pond and don't get nearly as close as I used to with the John Deere. All right, mowing speeds, it's literally 40% faster. Part of that is it's got a 6-inch bigger deck than I previously used to, but you know, not pushing a button to back up. Love it. Now, if you got kids, so please be careful with something like that. I'm surprised that there isn't one, because it is so easy, and there's been terrible things that have happened to children getting run over. But my children are all growing up and mostly moved out, so that's not a huge concern. But when my grandkids are over, I don't even use it to mow lawn, that is. The kids love to drive it. Maybe I'll include a video of them driving the Kubota. And but some of the great features, some things I've already talked about, some things I've learned. Love the suspension seat, nice and adjustable. Nothing special about the fuel gauge, but you know what? It works. It's simple. It's never going to fail. So I'm good with that. Incredibly good on gas. When I first got it, I had read some reviews that the Koehler motor, which is a 21 horse V-twin, V-twin, is it a V-twin? Yeah, it's a line on the side, V-twin, was hard on gas during break-in, and oh my, this thing, it burnt through a tank just doing my front lawn, almost, not quite, but it sucked it. I was thinking, man, oh man. But you know, 2 or 3 tanks later, this thing can mow my entire lawn, which is a couple acres, and on half a tank. So great break-in. It's already had, well, today was its second oil change. They did one at 5 and now one at 32. Other features. Okay, you see these nice LED lights? They're a joke, all right? If you're buying it just to have lights, don't waste your money. My John Deere with its actual little tiny headlights is far better than this with LEDs. So that's a joke. I am going to be putting on overhead lighting very soon because the days are getting shorter. Some nice things I may or may not have mentioned before. Many decks are cheap decks, stamped. These are fabricated, super heavy duty, great welds. And what I like is when you lift this deck up, cover up, you see no blades. A lot of them pull up their cover and it exposes inches of the spinning blades. So if you're trying to get close to something, I just wouldn't want to see those blades spinning and toss something up at me. Just a small thing, but could really add up. Love the controls, so easy. Other ones I've seen, you gotta pull pins and push pins. This you can just raise the deck with the black pedal, turn your knob, and away. And very accurate, very smooth and clean cut. Just noticed today doing oil change, this is actually to hold your phone. Now my phone is an i12, so it won't fit, but there's actually a phone holder, or it could actually be a cigarette holder too, but I don't smoke, so I couldn't tell you if it would fit. I'm sure it would. Nice features, you know, small features like, I'm gonna do this one-handed here. Maybe not, bear with me. Raising and lower the seat. You know, they didn't have to, but they put a clamp on either side. So that either side of the vehicle, you don't have to memorize which one, you gotta go to which side to raise the seat. It's on both sides. Small feature, yes, but you know what? Someone's thinking ahead and doing the extras. The fuses and everything are underneath here. There's your fuel tank, it's good and full. Don't love, but a lot of them are this way. The fact that when you start this thing, you're starting it with choke and full throttle. So right away she revs, cold engine revs to max, which I'm very quick to pull it back. Oil changes, made it nice and simple. I just changed it, and I'm actually going to show you, but that's the oil filter. Just spun a new one on. It's got a hole underneath, so the oil drains right below that filter, right into a pan. Keeps it nice and neat. On this side, again, smart thinking. They have a clip that holds your drain hose. Just pull the drain hose out, undo your nut and bolt, stick it through the hole here, and it drops right into your pan. And again, just the small things, thinking ahead. I love very robust frames on these. I just cleaned out the air filter. Surprising how dirty it is. Every time I do an oil change on any of my machines, I give them all a good clean wipe down. Yeah, you don't have to spit and polish. I used to be that guy who everything was spit and polish, but I spent too many years of my life polishing only to find it dirty a few days later. So when you do an oil change, I believe you should clean everything. Big bonus about cleaning everything is you find things that you might have missed, things that might need attention, greasing or broken or a weld or something, you know. So when you do wipe things down and give it a quick clean, you spot things that you might not have spotted before. Like I say, super comfy seat. I actually like wearing my seatbelt. That's weird, but it actually seems to hold you in the seat, and the suspension seems to almost work better. The parking brake, here's an oddity. Parking brake is on a safety, but it's got a pretty good spring on it. So I don't leave it in here because it's already notching a groove when it's sitting in the garage. So I recommend leaving that thing down. Now, it won't start until it's up, but there's no metal sleeve here to prevent wear and tear. I can see this thing cutting through over the years quite easily, but absolutely no problems. Machine runs great. She's quick, very loud, but I think, again, being my first, I think all zero turns are loud just because of the tip speed of that deck. I mean, it throws grass 15-20 feet. What else can I tell you? Otherwise, on the value scale, I am very happy. We got this from a local dealer. You can look it up. You can see it there. Great dealership. I've had no complaints. And would go back to them in a moment. All right, this is Dice for Dave. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you got any questions, comments, leave them below.